Ladies and gents, how are you doing? Loads of you have sent me that story about Hadush Kababu, the bloke from Epping. But rest assured, I'm saving the massive collection of foreign diddlers, deviants, and sex pests, and occasionally highly explosive foreigners for the Friday roundup. Crime Watch is going to be on Friday, and I'm already full. It's Tuesday morning, and I've already got a laundry list of incidents, so I'm already full. Please stop sending me foreign diddlers and sex pests. It's good of you to keep me abridged of all the news, but frankly, I can't keep up. If I was to do all of the really big meaty stories from each week, where I covered all of the imported angry men with very, very low social skills and very, very hard erections, I was getting busy with the kids in England, I'd never get finished. It'd be about 7 hours long. So please stop deluging me. I'm going to cover them on Friday. For today, there is a good story we can already cover, isn't it? And it's this one. The BBC's headline, amazingly, reads as if this is some sort of preposterous accusation, you know what I mean? Like Trump accuses Britain of starting World War II, or Trump accuses vegans of buying up all of his favourite cheeseburgers from McDonald's. Apparently this is a crazy accusation. Oh, look at that, it's just changed as we speak. It's obviously live updating. But apparently the BBC thought it was genuinely preposterous that Trump accused other countries of not controlling the borders. Somebody in the newsroom must have realised that that was the daftest headline they've ever typed, so they've quickly changed it to Trump takes aim at other countries' border and climate policies. Yeah, as well he might. One good piece of ammunition, you would imagine, would be talking about the aforementioned Mr. Kababu fingering people's kids with reckless abandon. So we're going to cover this story today because it's funny. They're all having a pop at the Orange Oracle because, as usual, he's some sort of goddamn soothsayer. The man's a visionary, and the BBC don't like it. So let's get into it. Okay, Trump takes aim at other countries' border and climate policies in a wide-ranging UN speech. Why would he do such a thing? Why? Why would he do that? I mean, shall I just reel some off from the top of my head? I don't need Google. Emily Jones, killed by an Albanian. Manchester bombing, Libyan. Southport stabbing, Rwandan. Lee Rigby. Where was Michael Adebayo from? Like Nigeria? Endemic 250,000 diddler gangs, Pakistan, Bangladesh. I was going to name a crime, but there's no need to. I'll just say the word Albania. I mean, do I need to go on, really? Somalia? Countries like those last two, you don't even need to name individual incidents. You just have to say them, and everybody on planet Earth collectively sighs and goes, yeah, they're a pain up the arse. Donald Trump tells the UN General Assembly it's time to end the failed experiment of open borders as he accuses the UN of facilitating an invasion of Western countries. God bless you, Mr. President. You are indeed a visionary genius. Trump singles out Europe, saying the continent is in serious trouble over migration, while also criticising its failure to cut off Russian energy products as embarrassing. What's with all of these quotation marks, as if it's some sort of preposterous statement? The continent is in serious trouble. Everyone with a hole in their arse knows the continent is in serious trouble. Have you seen the numbers? Have you seen the economy? Have you seen the amount of terrorist attacks? Did you not notice all those innocent people squashed like frogs who were scraping off the pavement in Nice? Because the French government's let 20 million random third world arseholes move in. Nobody's paying attention to that, no? All right, I'll just carry on then. In his wide-ranging speech, he describes climate change as the greatest con job ever, as he says UN predictions were wrong. Again, 100% factually accurate. And the US president also brings up claims about ending seven wars since his White House return, as he said the UN didn't even try to help find a solution. No, because they are warmongering globalist sociopaths, Mr. President. He also reiterates that recognising a Palestinian state is a reward for terrible atrocities Hamas has committed, and tells the group release the hostages now. What a bad guy he is, yeah. Such villainy. Release the hostages now. How dare he? And then they end with this: stick with us for reaction and analysis as we unpick what was said on climate change, immigration and global affairs. Unpick. You mean brazenly lie about what was said? Brazenly lie. Everything he said there was factually accurate. Every single thing. And you know what's interesting? Especially regarding the immigration thing. Because now they're making out like this is some sort of abhorrent, obscene lie being spat out by the current president of the United States. But do you know who else said that whole thing about mass immigration into Europe being a total failure? Do you know who else said that? I know the BBC thinks everyone who reads their website is an imbecile because the working classes are all foul-smelling oiks who, you know, don't bathe and the children just roll around amongst the pigs and the hay. But do you know who else said that? Not actually too long ago. I'll even use The Guardian to refute them because I don't want to be accused of being some sort of right-wing rag, you know. Angela Merkel. German multiculturalism has utterly failed. Chancellor's assertion that the onus is on new arrivals to do more to integrate into German society stirs the anti-immigration debate. And there she is, personally saying it 14 years ago, the little horrible fat poison dwarf sack of rats that she is. Yep, there you go. There you go. Is it more palatable when a little fat German dwarf says it? Is it? Because that's what happened. BBC. And look at that paragraph. Speaking to a meeting of young members of her Christian Democratic Union Party, Merkel said the idea of people from different cultural backgrounds living happily side by side did not work. Weird that, innit? So it didn't work when they had a relatively small number of migrants coming in. But then the powers that be, the Machiavellian globalist sociopaths, had a quick whisper in her ear, and what happened a couple of years later? Inside Europe, Merkel's U-turn. Thomas Sparrow begins by asking what's brought about this U-turn from Merkel, known for her open doors migration policy. Yeah, I'll tell you what brought it about. Getting bribed and or threatened by the lunatics that run the world. That's what happened. And now the BBC has the neck of 1,000 giraffes and makes a story like that as if they're quoting him for saying some ludicrous rambling about how the failed experiment of open borders has ruined Europe. It has, and everyone knows it, and the powers that be knew it 15 years ago, but kept on importing hairy-arsed men with big floppy cocks just because they hate you and they wanted to piss you off. That's what's happened. Everybody with a room temperature IQ and above knows it to be factually accurate. So once again, I'll just add one more job on your to-do list, Donald. Please have the United States Air Force airstrike Broadcasting House, preferably while Match of the Day is going out live. Yeah. Although, Gary Lineker's not on there anymore, is he? Well, I'm sure you can spare an A10 to strafe his living room simultaneously. In his wide-ranging speech, he also describes climate change as being the greatest con job ever and says UN predictions were wrong. As you might expect, the farm yackers have got the best sources for this stuff. This is AgWeb, the farm journal, and it says, politicians, scientists and celebs assure us apocalypse is tomorrow, and if not, the day after. Buckle up for a look at 50 years of cataclysmic predictions. April 1970. Population will outstrip whatever small increases in food supplies we make. The death rate will increase until 100 to 200 million people every year are starving to death. And Harvard biologist and Nobel Prize winner George Wald, speaking at the University of Rhode Island in November 1970, said civilization will end within 15 or 30 years unless immediate action is taken against problems facing mankind. And my favourite one is obviously AOC, Chomper, everybody's favourite sheep-toothed politician, saying this a few years back, which means I think she's only got about 2 years before her predictions come true, hasn't she?
Millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And like, this is the war. This is our World War II.
And that was to rapturous applause. Rapturous applause. The world's going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. Well, we're in the shit then, aren't we, love? The clock's ticking. My geography teacher told me we were going to run out of oil in 2015 or something. This is when I was in secondary school in like 1993. And the geography teacher was like, oh yeah, we're going to run out of oil. There's going to be none left. By 2015, definitely not. We've had everything from running out of oil to freezing to death to being gored by an angry woolly mammoth in the post-apocalypse wastelands of the north. From these people that have just been consistently wrong all the time for 50 years because it gives them an excuse to steal off you, and thick twats actually buy it and give them more money. Oh, do you want to offset your carbon footprint by giving us an extra 50 quid when you get a flight? What planet are you living on if you believe that shit? Like what, you give them 50 quid, what do you think they do? Grab a giant vacuum cleaner and suck the carbon out of the air? Look at recycling. All the hippies talk about recycling. There's videos of them pouring 24 recycling trucks' contents into the sea in China. We throw all of our plastic and glass onto ships. We pump out carbon by sailing them 7,000 miles around the world. And then when they finally get there, we tip them all in the ocean and we choke a dolphin to death. The best thing you can do with your rubbish is set it all on fire in your back garden. I guarantee if you recycle regularly, you've killed way more dolphins than me. You may as well just go down to your local beach every Sunday and just kick dolphins in the bollocks. This is a total scam. So, anyway, to sum up, I'm rambling. Today, the Emperor of Mankind, the Orange Oracle, saints be praised, gave one of the greatest speeches ever to the bunch of shit-for-brains globalist sociopaths in a big room full of wankers. It was amazing, and you should go and watch it in full. God bless him. If you disagree because you're living in a fantasy land where foreign men aren't fingering the kids, dolphins aren't getting choked to death by your shit, and the world is indeed tinkering on the brink of extinction because some goofy sheep-toothed ideologue lies for a living on television, please let me know in the comments. Remember, as I've said, if you don't have time to post a comment, at least put a rat in a shoebox and upend it on your keyboard, and it'll probably type something just as rational anyway. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.